Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about grad school and my experience. I graduated last week, yay, go me, from Savannah College of Art and Design with my master's degree in luxury and brand management. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the program, my experience, the courses, the teachers, the students, and everything in between. I don't feel like I can answer the question, was it worth it yet? Because I only graduated last week. So maybe in like 6 months to a year, I'll do another video on that and address that topic specifically. But this video is going to be more my experience and the good and the bad. So I have a BFA in photography. That was my undergrad degree. You can see some of my work up here. I'm not doing as much photography anymore. I used to have a studio in Miami and do freelance photography, and now I do it more for my jewelry brand. And that's part of the reason that prompted me to go to grad school is I've always been a creative and I've always had that creative side of the brain going. And through my work experience, I have learned more about business, advertising, marketing, and kind of how to run a business. But I felt like there were some gaps in my knowledge. So that's part of the reason that I wanted to go to grad school, was to grow my jewelry business. The second reason was to be more attractive to employers. So I don't dream of labor. I don't really have like a dream job per se. It's really owning my own company, running that, being creative, designing products, and expanding that. However, as I'm doing that, I do and have had to work for other people. So when I was researching schools, I knew I wanted to go to an art school. I have always wanted to go to art school. When I was in undergrad, I started at a liberal arts college, then went back to an in-state school, which was also still a liberal arts college, and was in the School of Art, but not an art school specifically. And I feel like I got a little gypped. Maybe gypped isn't the right word, but I feel like I didn't get everything that I had really wanted. The reason I didn't go to art school, I was considering going to Brooks Institute, which was in Santa Barbara. It was a photography and film school. And the reason I didn't go is because of the expense. I'm from Iowa, so I went back to in-state college in Iowa City. And I went to the School of Arts, but it wasn't an art school, so I feel like I just didn't get as much as I could have out of the experience. So that's part of the reason I wanted to go to art school specifically for my grad degree, my master's. And the schools that I were considering were Parsons, FITM, which is in Los Angeles, and then FIT, as well as SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design. And I was looking into like fashion design programs, business programs, also like entrepreneurship programs. And I really analyzed each school, the curriculum that they offered. And when I came across SCAD and their luxury and brand management degree, it seemed like a really good fit. Part of the reason I chose this degree is because they had a sustainability elective, which I didn't end up taking because I did an internship instead. So it was either the elective or the internship, and I obviously like wanted to make money rather than paying for another course, so I chose the internship. But I did learn about sustainability through the other courses, and some of the other courses that I took were visual narrative, finance, advertising, marketing, global distribution, supply chain, and final project, which was writing my thesis on the jewelry industry and sustainability. So I really did study sustainability quite a bit actually within this program, but didn't take it as a course. I have some notes over here, so if you see me glancing over here, because I didn't want to like forget any of the important points that I have. They suggest, like my advisor suggested, that I only take 2 courses, and SCAD is on the quarter system, so that is considered full-time, taking 2 courses, and it's a pretty heavy workload. But they wanted me to take prerequisites, which I was able to get out of one of them because I've done a lot of social media management, and when I got into that class, the first few days were just like social media management and about influencer marketing, and I was like, I know all this, I don't need to be in this class. So they waived that one, but I couldn't get them to waive the other prerequisite. So that was another prerequisite that I had to take, and if I had taken 2 courses each quarter, it would have taken me over a year to finish the degree. And part of the reason that I chose SCAD and this degree specifically was because you could finish it in a year. Finding out that after applying, getting accepted, and having these prerequisite courses that it would take me over a year, and that's what happened to most people, I was like pretty frustrated because it also, I had budgeted very well, and it also increased the amount that I would have to pay overall for the course or for the program, because you pay by course. So I decided I'm going to take on more coursework, and I decided to do 3 courses the first quarter, 2 the next quarter, 3 the next quarter, and then 2 again in the final quarter, which would allow me to graduate in a year. It was not recommended by my advisor, and especially the first course coming into grad school after not having been in college in 10 years. She advised me against it, but it was fine. There were times when I was stressed out. It was a lot of work, but once I realized you don't have to do all the reading, it became much easier, and I'm happy to say I did get all A's in that quarter and throughout my entire degree. So I personally don't know why they only recommend taking 2 courses. I guess they just don't want people to get overwhelmed and fail and then have to retake the course, because if you don't pass it, then you need to retake the course. So yeah, the workload varied. It was kind of heavy in the first quarter and definitely in the fall, where I took 3 courses again. The final project was a lot of work, but it depends on the teachers that you have, and also I guess how well you can manage your time and how much effort you're going to put into these projects. Another topic I wanted to touch on was the teachers. I ended up having one teacher for 3 quarters for 3 different classes because of the prerequisite that I had to take, and then she was teaching the classes that were available that I needed for those quarters. So it just ended up that I had her for 3 quarters, but I actually loved her. She was one of my favorite teachers. And as far as the other teachers go at SCAD, I guess I can only speak to the teachers within this program, but they're all very knowledgeable. They do have industry experience, so they haven't been teachers forever. They've worked for other companies or started their own companies or both. I really liked that about the program. And I think they all have like a varying degree of how much work they give. Like some of the courses were very heavy workloads and others were lighter. And then I think something that SCAD needs to look at is how each teacher is grading, because some teachers were grading way easier than other teachers, and it just wasn't really very consistent through the program or across the board. But I have to say, like, all the teachers are very intelligent and knowledgeable. Okay, so the price of grad school. Oh, this is the part that just hurts. It really hurts so much. Because I had budgeted well and I went over budget because of the prerequisites, and also I thought I would be working more throughout the program, and it just really wasn't possible. Like the workload was too much that picking up a part-time job for, like, I worked over the summer for the internship, but that was considered a course, so I was able to manage it with the time, but it's just a really hard program to think about working full-time and going to school full-time. Like there were some students that were doing school part-time and working full-time, but even then, I know talking to another student and she was working full-time and she was like, I wished I had just gone to school full-time and then came back to work because it's so hard to manage both. So I am really glad that I took the year to do this full-time school and take time off of work, and also that I hadn't, like, I wasn't in a relationship, so I didn't have to answer to anyone, and then I also don't have kids, so that made it a lot easier. Like, I can't imagine trying to do this program full time and either having a job or having a family. Like, it's just not really set up for that. There are courses in the evening, but a lot of them are during the day, so you would have to manage your schedule very carefully if you're going to do it part-time and try and take classes in the evening. As you guys know, if you've watched some of my other videos, I've lived in LA for 5 years. It's obviously called Savannah College of Art and Design, and so their main campus is in Savannah. But part of the reason that I also chose this school was because they have a campus in Atlanta, and they also offer online classes. And you can switch from the Atlanta campus to the Savannah campus to online. Well, in theory. It actually is a little harder than they make it out to be, because not all classes are available every quarter at every campus. So you have to organize your schedule carefully, especially when you only have a year to do the program in. You have to like meet with your advisor plenty of times and make sure you're getting everything right, which I did. I asked her so many questions. But what I ended up doing was going to Atlanta for the first quarter and taking classes in person. I actually ended up taking one class online while I was in Atlanta the first quarter because it wasn't available in person with the other classes that I needed to take for my schedule. So that was a little disappointing, like having gone to Atlanta to take classes in person and then having to take a class online. But it was really early in the morning, 8 a.m. so it was kind of easier to do it online at home. And then over the summer I came back to LA, took one class and did the internship, and then in the fall went back to Atlanta, took 3 classes in person. My schedule was awful. Like, I had a class at 8 a.m. and then I had a class at 5 until 7:30 p.m. So I ended up spending the entire day on campus with a huge break, and it was just like a really long and tiring day. But I was able to take all 3 of the classes that quarter in person, which was really great. And then I came back to LA for the winter quarter, and took 2 classes online. They also have a campus in France, in Lacoste, which I would have really loved to go to, but it wasn't really possible with the classes that I needed to take. So I feel like that was beneficial, having the option to take classes online. That was also a benefit to me. Like, if I get a full-time job, then I can just switch to finishing the program online. I could, take longer if I find a job that I like. And students do that. The career fairs. So SCAD has career fairs, which was one of the reasons that I thought it would be a really great school to go to. And then they have recruiters coming to the school specifically to scout in there for job opportunities, and they look at different programs that align with the jobs that they have available. I went to one career fair in Atlanta in the fall, and it was so busy. It was insane. Like, you would have to wait an hour to speak to someone who was sitting at the table, and some of the recruiters were sitting down with different students, going over their entire portfolios in detail and sitting with them for like half an hour to an hour. So you would have to wait for a very long time. So I found that very frustrating. They also had another online career fair, which you had to sign up for beforehand and create meetings, and that wasn't exactly clear to me. So I tried that career fair, and I met with like 4 different companies, but they weren't the top companies that I would have wanted to meet with, and all of the other meetings were booked. So I feel like there has to be some sort of better way to organize this. SCAD does have a job portal, but I haven't found anything really that aligns with what I want on there yet. Another thing about SCAD, which has like its pros and its cons. So they have a huge, at least within the grad school in my program, luxury and brand management, they have a huge international student population, which is really cool because the school is like multicultural. You hear different languages, you know, it's very diverse. I think that it's great to be able to learn about other cultures while you're also, you know, getting your degree. And you know, I love to travel, so I've made friends that are like from China and India, and mostly I'd say that's mostly where the international students are from, China and India. Yeah, so most of the students are from China and India, and then like there was one student, not in my program, I think he was in undergrad actually, from Spain, and another girl in my program from Argentina. Like there's people from all over the place, but there's a lot of Chinese students and a lot of Indian students, and it wouldn't be unusual for me to be in a class and be the only American student. So I think, like I said, there's pros to that, but also the con is like, if you're going to school to network, which a lot of people go to grad school for that, and all of these people are international in your program, they're not necessarily going to stay in the country. And hey, I might not necessarily stay in the United States either, but if you're networking with people and if you want to have peers that are going to be within the United States, then this program might not be the best for it. Because a lot of the people will stay, like they'll get jobs in the US and stay, but a lot, you know, it's hard to get your visa sponsored through a job. So if people don't get their visa sponsored or they want to go back to their own country, they're going back, and that's just kind of like disappointing to have a lot of the students that you met through your program not stay within the United States. Another downfall is kind of like people don't really know what this degree is. Like, I have to describe it. So I describe it. Oh, it's luxury and brand management, but it's like a business degree at an art school. And with Savannah College of Art and Design, it's actually within the School of Business Innovation. So it really is like a business degree at an art school. So yeah, I think that's everything. I feel like I've been talking for a long time in this video. I didn't realize I had so much to say about it. If I forget something or there's something else that you guys want to know, just let me know in the comments below, and I can do another video, like I said, in 6 months to a year, talking about like if the degree was worth the return on investment, and then also answer any questions that I might have missed. But if you're thinking about going to grad school and you're thinking about going to SCAD or doing this specific program, then I hope this video really helps you. I can say that I definitely learned a lot, and I feel like this program did fill some of the gaps in my knowledge. But yeah, I hope you guys really liked this video, and be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, and I'll talk to you soon.